Welcome back to English Plus Podcast, everyone. This is Danny, and this is a new episode. Now, this entire week, we've been exploring a topic that's on everyone's mind. It's a source of incredible excitement, and if we're being honest, a little bit of anxiety too. We're talking about artificial intelligence. Now, you've seen the headlines. You've probably played around with tools like ChatGPT or Google's Gemini, and you've witnessed them do things that feel like pure magic. But after this initial wow factor fades, a different kind of feeling can start to creep in. A little question, a whisper in the back of your mind. For many of us on this language journey, this question sounds something like this. So, what does this mean for my English? I've spent years learning vocabulary, memorizing grammar rules, practicing my accent. Is all that effort now obsolete? Is a robot coming for my job as a fluent, effective communicator? It is a valid fear. When you see a machine generate a flawless email in 3 seconds or even less, it's natural to feel a bit devalued. But I am here today to tell you, with every ounce of confidence I have, that the answer to that question is a big, resounding no. In fact, the opposite is true. Your English skills are not becoming obsolete. They are becoming your single greatest superpower in this new era. I want you to think of AI not as a magic genie that grants wishes, but as an incredibly powerful, sophisticated, and very literal tool. Imagine it's a brand new, high-tech jet airplane. It can take you anywhere in the world, faster than you ever dreamed possible, but there's a catch. It doesn't fly itself. It needs a pilot. Someone who understands the controls, who can chart a course, who can read the weather, and who, obviously, knows the destination. In the age of AI, your English skills are your pilot's license. Someone with poor communication skills is like a passenger on that jet. They can go where the plane is going, but they have no control. They are passive. They might even end up somewhere they didn't want to be. But a person with strong English skills, well, you are the pilot. You are in the cockpit. You have the control. You decide the destination, you give the commands, and you use the powerful machinery to get there with precision and purpose. So today, this episode is your flight school. We're going to move beyond basic grammar and vocabulary. We're talking about upgrading your English from a simple communication tool into a high-performance command center. We will dive deep into a skill called prompt engineering, which is really just a fancy technical term for the timeless art of asking good questions. I will show you step by step how to use AI not as a crutch, but as a partner to make you a more powerful, more efficient, and profoundly more creative communicator. So this is your moment, my friends, to turn that AI anxiety into your biggest professional and personal advantage. Are you ready to get into the cockpit? Let's get started. Well, let's start with what is, for many of us, the final frontier of language learning: speaking. We can spend years with textbooks, apps, and grammar exercises. We can write beautiful essays and understand every word of a movie. But then comes that moment of truth, a real-time conversation. And what happens? Well, the words freeze. That perfect sentence you constructed in your head evaporates the moment you open your mouth. Your heart starts to beat a little faster. You become intensely aware of your accent. You're worried the other person is getting impatient, that they're judging you, that you're going to make a foolish mistake. It's a deeply vulnerable experience. This fear, the fear of judgment, is the single biggest wall that stands between learners and true fluency. Now imagine for a moment an ideal practice partner. Someone who is available anytime, day or night. Someone who knows about every topic in the world. Someone who never gets tired, never gets bored, and most importantly, never ever judges you. They have infinite patience. You can make the same mistake 100 times, and they will be just as ready to help you on the 101st try. That, my friends, is exactly what a language AI can be for you. It is the ultimate low-stakes practice environment. It is your personal speaking gym, your dojo, your rehearsal studio where you can build confidence and muscle memory without any of the social pressure. So how do we use it? Let's get intensely practical. Don't just type to it. Use the voice input feature on your phone or computer and speak out loud. Let's walk through a scenario. Let's say you have a big job interview next week. Step 1, set the scene. You start with a prompt giving the AI its role. You say, for example, act as a friendly but professional hiring manager for a senior project manager position at a tech company. I am the candidate. Ask me one common interview question to start. And step number 2, engage and answer. The AI will respond, perhaps saying, "Of course, let's begin. Can you tell me about a time you had to manage a project with a very tight deadline?" Now you don't type. You speak your answer out loud. You tell your story. You explain the situation, the action you took, and the result. You do your best, even if you stumble over your words. And then comes step 3. Ask for granular feedback. But this is the magic step. Once you're done, you ask for specific, actionable feedback. Your prompt could be something like, "Thank you, that was my answer. Please give me feedback on my response." Specifically, was my story clear and easy to follow using the STAR method? Did I use strong action verbs? Could you suggest 3 to 4 more powerful vocabulary words I could have used? And finally, how could I have phrased my conclusion to sound more confident? The AI will then give you a structured breakdown. It might say something like, "Your answer was good. You clearly explained the situation." To make it stronger, instead of saying "we worked hard," you could say "we streamlined the workflow" or "we optimized the process." For your conclusion, try ending with, "This experience taught me the importance of proactive communication," which sounds more reflective and confident. This isn't just practice, it's targeted coaching. You can do this for any scenario. Going on a date? Easy. You can tell AI to act as my date and let's make small talk. Giving a presentation, you can ask AI, act as a skeptical member of the audience and ask me 2 challenging questions about my budget. You can practice until the words feel natural, until the stories flow effortlessly. But now, with all that enthusiasm, we need to take a step back and talk about what AI can't do. Because for all its power, AI is a flight simulator. It is an incredible, hyper-realistic tool for rehearsal, but it is not the real plane flying in a real sky with real turbulence. An AI lacks the single most crucial component of communication, a shared human experience. It has no consciousness, no emotions, no lived experiences. It can process the word sad, sure, but it has never felt sadness. It can't read the subtle shift in your posture, see the flicker of understanding in your eyes, or hear the gentle sarcasm in your tone. It can't share a laugh that comes from a place of mutual understanding. Think about real conversation. It's a dance. It's messy, unpredictable, and beautiful. You might have to comfort a friend, navigate a delicate disagreement, or share a moment of spontaneous joy. These situations require empathy, social awareness, and emotional intelligence. These are things you can only build through real-world interaction. So here's my advice. Use AI as your tireless training partner. Use it to build your core confidence, to get your reps up, to polish your stories, and to eliminate the fear of making mistakes. But then, you must take that newfound confidence out into the world. Join a language exchange, talk to your foreign colleagues, start a conversation with the barista. The simulator makes you a technically better pilot, but only flying the real plane makes you a true aviator. AI can help you sound more fluent, but only real human connection can help you become a better communicator. And now that we've talked about speaking, now let's shift gears and move towards reading and writing. That's coming next. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. All right, let's shift gears to the input and output of the written word. Now, for decades, the challenge for English learners was access. Finding interesting articles, books, or materials at the right level was a real chore. Today, we have the opposite problem. We aren't standing in a desert, thirsty for information. We are drowning in a digital ocean of it. Articles, newsletters, research papers, social media feeds, endless emails. It is a tsunami of text. This is where AI shifts from being a language tool to being an essential survival tool. Its ability to process and summarize vast amounts of text is, without exaggeration, a game changer. That 50-page business report your boss wants you to understand by tomorrow? Well, you can paste it into your AI and ask, summarize the key findings and action items from this report in 5 bullet points. It's done in seconds. Now, your role as a skilled English user fundamentally changes. You are no longer just a consumer of information. You are the director. You don't just read what's in front of you. You command the AI to find, shape, and deliver the exact information you need. You can ask AI to explain this complex scientific concept to me as if I were a high school student. You can ask it to take these 3 articles about climate change and identify the main point of agreement and the main point of disagreement between them. But this incredible power comes with a new critical responsibility. You have to become a skeptic. You must be the final layer of quality control. AI, for all its brilliance, can be confidently and convincingly wrong. In the industry, this is known as hallucination. Because an AI is essentially a highly advanced prediction engine, not a database of facts, it sometimes predicts a fact that sounds plausible but is completely fabricated. It might invent a historical quote, create a fake legal case, or mix up the details of 2 different people. I had this happen myself. I asked for a summary of a niche historical figure's life. The AI returned a beautifully written, perfectly structured biography. It was flawless, except for the fact that it had combined the life of my historian with that of a 19th century poet who happened to have a similar name. The dates were wrong, the key achievements were mixed up. The writing was A+, but the information was an F. My own background knowledge, my critical eye, was the only thing that caught the error. This is a skill that cannot be outsourced. Your ability to read a piece of AI-generated text and ask yourself, does this feel right? Does this make sense? Can I quickly verify this? Is what separates a masterful user from a gullible one. And now let's talk about writing. Now, we've had tools like Grammarly for years, and they are great for catching typos and basic errors. But that's like having a friend who points out you have spinach in your teeth. AI is like having a world-class speaking coach who can explain why you shouldn't eat spinach before a big speech. It's all about moving from correction to comprehension. When an AI suggests a change, don't just blindly accept it. Interrogate it. Let's say it changes effect to effect. Your follow-up prompt should be, explain the difference between effect and effect in a simple way and give me 3 more example sentences for each. Suddenly, a simple correction becomes a memorable grammar lesson. You can do this for anything. When should I use a semicolon? Explain the passive voice and help me rewrite the sentence in the active voice. The AI becomes your personal, on-demand English tutor. And here's the beautiful, almost poetic irony of this whole process. To communicate effectively with an AI, you are forced to become a more precise and intentional human communicator. An AI has no context about your life. It cannot read your mind. It takes every word you say literally. A vague, lazy prompt will always yield a vague, lazy result. Now think about the difference between these 2 prompts. Let me start with a vague prompt. Write an email about the meeting. The result? Well, it's a generic, useless email, obviously. But what if you give AI a precise prompt, something like this? Write a polite and concise follow-up email to the project team after our Tuesday meeting. The tone should be professional but encouraging. Summarize the 3 key decisions we made. Launch date is Q4, budget is approved, and Sarah is the project lead. End with a clear call to action. All team members must submit their individual task lists by Friday end of the day. Now look at that second prompt. It is a masterclass in clear communication. It defines the audience, the tone, the key information, and the desired outcome. The very act of writing a prompt like that forces you to clarify your own thoughts. This practice, this constant need to be clear, specific, and goal-oriented will naturally spill over into all your communication. You'll become a better writer, a better speaker, and a clearer thinker, not just when you're talking to a robot, but when you're talking to everyone. Alright, so we've talked about how AI can help you with your writing, with your reading, with your speaking, obviously. Now we're going to move to the second part, which may be the more exciting part, and this one is the new superpower, mastering the machine. We're going to talk about the art of asking good questions, prompting. That's coming next. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Alright, we've been touching on it this whole time, but now let's give this skill the spotlight it deserves. It's called prompt engineering. I know it sounds intimidating, like something for coders in a dark room or something, but I promise you it's not. At its heart, prompt engineering is simply the timeless art of asking a good question. It's the skill of giving clear instructions to get a desired result. Now, let's go back to our intern analogy. The AI is a brilliant, eager, and incredibly fast new intern. But it's also very literal. If you walk by their desk and just say, "Report," they will stare at you blankly, paralyzed by ambiguity. But if you give them a clear memo, they can produce incredible work. Prompting is how you write that perfect memo. Now let's break it down into the 4 pillars of powerful prompting. Pillar 1, specificity. This is the absolute foundation. Ambiguity is the enemy of good AI output. You need to be crystal clear about what you want. Instead of "tell me about marketing," which will give you a uselessly broad encyclopedia entry, get specific. Say something like, "Create a list of 5 low-budget marketing ideas for a new independent coffee shop targeting university students." See the layers? We define the format, list of 5. The constraint, low budget, the business, coffee shop, and the target audience, university students. That is a recipe for a useful response. Pillar number 2 is context and persona. An AI doesn't know who you are or what you need. You need to provide the context. The most powerful way to do this is by assigning the AI a persona or a role. This instantly frames the entire conversation. Don't just ask, "How do I explain a budget cut to my team?" Instead, give it a persona. You can say something like, "Act as an experienced and empathetic business leader. I need to announce a 10% budget cut to my dedicated team. Write me a short speech that is honest, transparent, and acknowledges their hard work while maintaining morale." The difference in output will be staggering. The second prompt will give you a response filled with empathetic language, focusing on transparency and teamwork. You can make the AI a harsh critic, a supportive mentor, a witty copywriter, or a patient teacher, all by defining its role at the beginning of the conversation. So that was the second pillar. The third pillar is constraints. AIs by default love to talk. They can be incredibly verbose. If you don't give them boundaries, they will often give you a 5-page essay when all you needed was a sentence. Well, these can be about length. You could say, for example, "Summarize this in 100 words." Or you can say, "Explain it in a single paragraph." The constraints can be about the format. You can say, "Put the pros and cons in a 2-column table." Or "Give me the answer as a series of bullet points." Or it can also be about style. You can say, for example, "Do not use any corporate jargon." Or "Write this using simple, everyday language." Constraints don't limit the AI's creativity, they focus it, resulting in a cleaner, more useful, and less overwhelming response. And finally, pillar number 4 is iteration, the dialogue. Well, this is a step most people miss, and it's the most important one. Getting the perfect result is almost never a one-and-done event. It is a conversation. It's a process of refinement. Think of it as a sculptor chipping away at a block of marble. Your first prompt is the first tap of the chisel. Let's say you ask, for example, "Write a product description for a new reusable coffee cup." The AI gives you a decent but generic response. You don't stop there. You iterate. Your next prompt is, "That's a good start. Now make it more focused on the eco-friendly aspect and target a younger, environmentally conscious audience." The AI gives you a new version. You refine again. You say, for example, "I like that. Now add a catchy headline and a strong call to action at the end." And again, you can say, "Great. Can you make the tone a bit more playful and witty?" Through this back and forth dialogue, you are co-creating the final product. You are guiding and shaping the AI's output until it is perfectly aligned with your vision. This iterative process is where the real magic happens. So, my friends, these are the 4 pillars. Remember, pillar 1 was specificity, pillar 2 is context and persona, pillar 3 is constraints, and pillar 4 is iteration, or the dialogue you have with your AI. And now that you've mastered the art of the prompt, you're getting fantastic raw material from your AI assistant. The job is done, right? Well, not even close. The AI's output is a brilliant first draft. It is the perfectly prepared canvas and a full palette of paints. But you are the artist. Your final and most important job is to take that raw material and breathe life into it. This is where you apply the uniquely human skills of editing and synthesis. Now let's talk about editing first. AI-generated text, even when it is grammatically perfect, often has a certain sterile, soulless quality. It can feel a bit too perfect, a bit too generic. It lacks 2 things that you, as a human, have in abundance: a unique voice and personal taste. Your voice is your linguistic fingerprint. It's the rhythm of your sentences, your choice of metaphors, your sense of humor. It's what makes you sound like you. An AI doesn't have a personality. Your job as an editor is to take its technically correct sentences and infuse them with your voice. Now, you might add a short personal anecdote, swap a formal word for a more colloquial one, or restructure a sentence to give it a more dramatic punch. You transform it from being merely correct to being compelling. Then there's taste. Now, taste is your sense of what is aesthetically pleasing, what is cool, what is witty, what is emotionally resonant. AI has no taste. It operates on statistical patterns, not on feelings. It can tell you what is common, but it can't tell you what is beautiful or impactful. You are the chief taste officer of your communication. You are the one who decides that a certain phrase is more elegant, that a particular joke is genuinely funny, or that a simpler sentence would be more powerful. Next is synthesis. AI is phenomenal at aggregation, which means gathering and summarizing information. You can feed it 10 scientific papers and it can give you a consolidated summary. But information is not insight. Data is not wisdom. The AI can do the what. It can tell you what all 10 papers said. Your human brain is required to do the so what. What are the implications of this information? What is the story hidden within these facts? What is the crucial piece of context that's missing? What is the actionable strategy we should derive from this data? The AI gathers the puzzle pieces, but you are the one who sees the picture and puts them together. The AI provides the data. You provide the analysis. That leap from information to insight, from knowledge to wisdom, is a profoundly human act. It is and will remain your most valuable contribution. So, my friends, we've covered a lot of ground. We've talked about practical skills, about mindsets, about the big picture. But I want to leave you with one final idea. It is the simplest but perhaps the most powerful skill of all. It is the master key that unlocks a deeper level of learning and transforms you from a simple user of AI into a true master of your own learning process. It's the habit of asking one simple 3-letter word, why? Now, we live in an age of answers. We have a machine that can give us an answer to almost any question instantly. And the temptation is to just take the answer and move on. But the true learning doesn't come from the answer itself. It comes from understanding the process behind the answer. Now, let me show you what I mean. Let's say the AI corrects a sentence you wrote. Now, the passive learner accepts the correction and moves on. The master learner asks, "Why is that the correct grammar rule? Can you explain it to me?" You ask the AI to help you draft an introductory paragraph for an essay. It gives you 3 beautiful sentences. The passive learner copies and pastes the paragraph as it is. The master learner asks, "Why did you structure it this way? What is the purpose of each sentence?" The AI will then explain the first sentence is a hook to grab attention, the second provide context, and the third is the thesis statement. That is a free masterclass in writing that you get just by being curious. You ask the AI to rewrite a sentence to be more persuasive. It changes a few words. The passive learner obviously accepts the new sentence, takes it as it is, copies and pastes it whatever he wants. The master learner asks, "Why are these new words more persuasive? What psychological principles are at play here?" Asking why, my friends, changes your entire relationship with the AI. It stops being an answer machine and becomes your personal Socratic tutor. It forces the AI to reveal its logical structure, its reasoning, its principles. And in doing so, you're not just getting a solution for one specific problem, you are learning the fundamental principles that you can apply to every other problem in the future. You are building your own intuition, your own internal model of how the English language works. You're moving from simply consuming information to deeply understanding it. So please, as you go forward on this journey, don't just settle for the answer. Always ask why. It is the ultimate upgrade for your brain. And that brings us to the end of our episode. Now, we started this episode with a question born of uncertainty. Is a robot going to devalue my English skills? I hope you now feel deep in your gut that the answer is a powerful and definitive no. AI isn't the competition. It's the partner. It's the tool that will allow you to learn faster, practice more effectively, and communicate with greater precision than ever before. We've learned that the new mindset is about being the pilot, not the passenger. We've uncovered the art of asking good questions through prompt engineering, and we've reaffirmed the irreplaceable value of your human voice, your taste, and your critical insight. And we've found the master key to deeper learning in that simple word, why. So now I have a challenge for you, a small concrete step to put all this into practice. This week, I want you to find one piece of writing you need to do. It can be an important email, a short report for work, a post for social media, anything. I challenge you to use an AI to help you to draft it, but with 3 rules. Use at least 3 iterative prompts to refine the initial draft. And second, incorporate a persona in at least one of your prompts. And third, when an AI makes a suggestion you find interesting, you must ask it why it made that choice. See what happens. The process itself will be a powerful lesson. Well, thank you very much, my friends, for joining me on this English Plus journey today. It's been a pleasure to share these ideas with you. Now, let me remind you that living in the age of AI is the theme for this week, so you will find a lot of content on the podcast on our website, EnglishPlusPodcast.com. So check out the website for articles, for learning quizzes, and a lot more. And of course, if you want to unlock access to all the content that I create and I put here on the podcast or on the website, you can do that by subscribing on Apple Podcasts or on Patreon. You can find the links in the description of the episode. That being said, thank you very much for listening to another episode from English Plus Podcast. I will see you next time, and remember, never stop learning with English Plus Podcast.